Hello students, I am Sonali. Welcome to my channel Success EduTech. Today we are going to learn about growth. Please watch my previous videos, link is given in the description. And please like, share, subscribe to our channel. We will start our today's session. So first we will see what is meant by growth. Growth is regarded as one of the most fundamental, that is basic and conspicuous characteristic of living beings, means visible characteristic of living being. See, this is the example of plant growth. Growth occurs at the expense of energy. After expensing energy, growth can occur. Growth is accomplished by metabolic process. Now, which are that metabolic process? That is anabolic and catabolic process. So, how the growth can be visible? By using these two processes, that is anabolic means in this process small simple molecules are built up to give us larger one and more complex one molecule. And in catabolic process, complex molecule after digesting food, this molecule break down in the body for use as a energy, and large molecules break and gives us a small simple molecule. So growth is accomplished by these two processes. Let us consider an example. Expansion of leaf is growth, right? Expansion of leaf is growth, we can say. But how would you describe the swelling of piece of wood when placed in water? Is this growth? It absorbs the water, but after out from the water, it will release the water and piece of wood will shrink. So it will take its original place. Means growth is a irreversible process, and this example is a reversible process. So we can't say it is a growth. Now, plant growth is generally indeterminate, right? So, plant growth is a unique, it is a different growth. How? Because of the presence of meristematic tissue at certain location in the plant body. So, what is the function of meristematic tissue? Meristematic tissue have capacity to divide and self-perpetuate. Self-perpetuate means continuation. Now, this is a form of growth wherein new cells are always being added to the plant body, and because of meristematic tissue, new tissues, new cells are always added to the plant body by the activity of meristem, and this is known as open form of the growth. Now, what would happen if meristem ceases to divide? If meristematic tissue stop to divide, then what will happen? So, there should be no growth in the plants. So, in plants, how the growth can possible? Now, apical meristems of root and shoot is responsible for the primary growth. Now, what is apical meristem? Meristems divided into apical, lateral, and the intercalary. So, apical meristem is present here at the shoot, apical meristem of the shoot. Root and shoot is responsible for primary growth of the plant. Here gives us from the root and shoot. Growth of root and shoot is known as primary growth of the plant and principally contribute to elongation of plant along their axis. And along their axis, plant can elongate, length of plant can increase. So this is the diagram of apical meristem of this plant, and these are the developing leaves, and this is the root. In dicotyledonous plants, the gymnosperm, lateral meristems, vascular cambium and cork cambium appear later in life. So what is this lateral meristem and vascular cambium and cork cambium? Vascular cambium help to increase the size of the stem and the broadness and root also. And cork cambium, it can produce a bark. It can help to produce a bark, some bark. So, this type of growth is known as secondary growth, as the growth of root and shoot is known as primary growth, and this type of growth is known as the secondary growth which happen in the lateral meristem. Now, see the example, primary growth and the secondary growth. See, this is the primary growth from the root and shoot, and this is the secondary growth, broadness of the root and the leaf also. Growth is measurable as we know that growth is measurable. So growth at cellular level is principally a consequence of increase in amount of protoplasm. How it will be measurable then? The amount of protoplasm. So what is the protoplasm? Protoplasm is nothing but it include the nucleus, cytoplasm, and in cytoplasm all organelles are there, right? And it's surrounded by the plasma membrane. So since increase in protoplasm is difficult to measure directly, one generally measures some quantity which is more or less proportional to it, right? It is difficult to measure the protoplasm directly, so we have to measure some quantity of it. So growth is generally measured by variety of parameters. Then which parameters are useful to measure the growth? Some of them are increase in fresh weight. We have to measure the weight. Dry weight means length also we have to measure, that is the growth of pollen tube. Area, increase in surface area. It also ventrally leaf means front and back side. Volume is important. Cell numbers, increase in cell per hour. How much cells increase in the per hour? Size, increase in the size of the cell. All these parameters are very, very important. A single maize root apical meristem can give rise to more than 17,500 new cells per hour. Means the growth measured here by using cell per hour criteria, and in maize root it is gives us 17,500 new cells per hour. And what about watermelon? Here the growth characteristic is size by up to 350,000 times increase. In the former, growth is expressed as an increase in cell number. Then, while in latter, express growth is as in increase in the size of the cells. Then the growth of pollen tube is measured in terms of its length. In dorsoventrally leaf, the growth is measured in terms of increase in surface area. So all these are the important characteristics by measuring the growth. Now, what are the phases of growth? The meristematic growth is generally divided into three phases. That is meristematic. In meristematic, root tips and shoot apex represent the meristematic phase. Both these are right. Then second one is elongation. After meristematic, elongation. Now here the cells proximal to the meristematic zone. Right. Now third one is maturation. Now this is the most important phase of the growth, more proximal to the phase of elongation, farther away from the apex. Now, the cells in the meristematic phase of growth show following characteristic. Now, what about the cells in meristematic phase? It shows rich in protoplasm, important characteristic. Large conspicuous nuclei, we can see it a visible nuclei. Cell walls are thin and made up of the cellulose with upper the plasmodesmatal connection. Then, cells in elongation phase show increased vacuolation. Vacuole is increased. Large cell enlargement will be there, and the new cell wall deposition also. See in the diagram, if water enter into these, here what happens? Cell enlargement, and large one is the new cell wall deposition. New cells are deposit here, new cell wall. So cells in the phase of maturation show maximal size in terms of wall thickening. See here the cell wall thickening and protoplasmic modification, right? So primary wall is this, then plasma membrane. This is primary wall, inside that plasma membrane, and this is the middle lamella layer. Now here again the primary cell wall. This is the pectin layer, glueplectin, name of that glueplectin. Then the secondary cell wall. This is primary and secondary cell wall. Okay, so this is about the growth. Now see what are the MCQs related to this topic, which are very, very important for NEET exam. Growth is accomplished by anabolic process, catabolic process, both 1 and 2, and none of this. So what is the answer? Growth is accomplished by both 1 and 2. What happens if meristem ceases to divide? Little growth occur, more growth, no growth, and unlimited growth. Our answer is no growth. Generally, phase of growth is divided into the phases 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 3, and the answer is 3. By what process swelling of piece of wood occurs when placed in a water? Imbibition, osmosis, diffusion, and the plasmolysis. The answer is imbibition. Which of the following is a characteristic of meristem? Rich in protoplasm, conspicuous nuclei, cell wall are primary, and all. Answer is all. Which of the following meristems involved in secondary growth? Apical meristem, intercalary, lateral, and the all. And the answer is lateral meristems. Thank you, students. In the next slide, we can see about the growth rate. So please watch this video completely and please watch my next video also. Thank you very much.